What's up, YouTube? This is RL Yoshi as usual. I'm Max, bringing more Let's Play Asagao Academy, Normal Boots Club. Last time, we were here at this convention. This generic, unnamed convention that presumably is gaming related. And now we are no longer at the convention, or rather we are getting ready to head home from it. And I can already tell you Hana is going to have some bad post-con blues. Possibly post-con pox, that too. Alright, let's adjust this cord and get started. It was finally time to take the train back to Asagao. Mai and I woke up dead, so tired we didn't even bother changing out of our pajamas. We dragged our luggage to the hotel lobby and climbed into the lobby chairs, setting our foreheads against our knees. It's not even light outside. This is hell. It didn't take long for the others to show up. Everyone except Jirard, Jirard, and Satch were still in their pajamas. PPG was clutching a pillow, and Jimmy was wrapped in a blanket like some kind of burrito. Burrito blanket. We traveled to the train station like a herd of zombies, only Jirard and Satch sustaining conversation. Even though Jirard was dressed, he still looked like he'd shoot anyone who looked at him the wrong way. Same, I've been there. I have been there so much. Like, not even getting up early for college, just getting up early in general. It is just the worst. We piled into the train, barely noticing who was with who. I followed Jirard and Jirard into a compartment, and Mai followed me. Jirard's eyes widened, but it was too late to escape. The train rumbled into motion, and away we went. Mai took a seat next to Jirard, and after he gave me a pleading look, I took a seat on the other side of her. The train rumbled steadily down the track, a lulling movement, almost like the rocking of a carriage. Mai was quiet for once, eyes compulsively falling shut. I watched her struggle to stay awake, occasionally snapping her head up like a dog trying to catch a fly, then falling lower again. Finally, her head lolled onto Jirard's shoulder, and she was fast asleep. Jirard glanced uncomfortably at her head, but even he wasn't rude enough to wake a sleeping girl. Implying Jirard's rude? Okay, yeah, he kind of is, at least in this. At some point, I noticed Jirard's leg fidgeting. He looked supremely uncomfortable and kept glancing at the compartment door. He needs to use the bathroom, I'm guessing. Jirard, you okay?
Hana?
That's my name. He peeled Mai's head off of his shoulder and handed her limp form to me. I really need to pee. Please take care of her. Yep, called it. Relieved of his burden, he dashed out the door. I tried to settle Mai on my shoulder, but no sooner had I leaned her against me than she fell directly into my lap. Mai, are you... Completely fine. A snort came from across the compartment. Jirard was clutching his mouth, trying hard to suppress his laughter. I shot him a glare. Hey, no worries. He shifted from his seat, now taking the open space next to me. You look just as tired as her. You could use my shoulder as a pillow if you want. Jirard smiled kindly at me, and again I found myself wondering what I did to deserve this from him. Was he being nice again just because? Did he want something from me? No, that's alright. I'm going to wait until we get back to Asagao.
Sure, I'll do what I can.
Okay, but if you need me, I'm right here, saying lines that are completely different than what my on-screen text says. Also, I just realized something that would probably make this even worse for them. If this convention is the way that I imagine, because I don't quite remember off the top of my head if they said how long this convention went for, but if it's like most conventions, I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which means unless they left early, which I don't think they did, they're going to get there on Monday morning, and they're going to have school. And that is just, like, terrible. Like, that's part of the reason why I don't think any convention, like, any real convention goes on during the school year, unless it is, like, some that nobody expects anyone out still in college or high school or whatever to go to, like a car show or something like that. Jirard entered the compartment again, and after a brief glance at the three of us, took Jirard's old seat across the way. Ice cold. I watched the trees speed past the train, my eyes getting heavier and heavier. But I could stay awake. Definitely. I wasn't tired at all. I wasn't. A jolt shot me into alertness. Yep, this was expected. I was leaning against something warm and soft. I pushed myself up, wiping drool off my face. I don't think anybody legit actually drools when they sleep, do they? Because I feel like that's not something people do. And also, if you do it, please do not tell me. I don't want to know. That's TMI. Have a nice nap?
Right.
You look like you slept well. I flushed, and Mai giggled beside me. You were so cute the way you were snoring. No? I didn't mind it. Mai gave me a look, and I knew exactly what she meant by it. I would never live this down. Live what? Live what down? Falling asleep in the train car? You did the exact same goddamn thing! And so, just like that, our convention getaway was over. Things were going back to normal. I gathered up my things and headed back to the Asagao campus, avoiding Jirard's eyes the entire time. Wow, I could have made the last episode go on just like 5 minutes longer. But nope, it's time for Chapter 3 now. That's gonna happen a lot, I can tell, where it's just like, alright, we're gonna end this episode now, 2 minutes into the next one, and a chapter. Alright, anyway. Of course, the What voice did I give this woman? Of course, the crystal shards themselves didn't protect people from the miasma. That was the... No word is supposed to have that many R's in a row, followed by that many, not vowels. That was the mirror that caravans gathered every year in order to keep their towns safe from harm. As Miss Shizuka lectured in front of the class, I doodled absent-mindedly in my notebook. I missed the convention. It was so much fun hanging out with everyone in Jirard. Jirard doesn't count as everyone? Learning about video games with Jirard, wandering the convention and the city with Jirard. I sighed dreamily. And this is where the teacher cracks down on you. What if every day was like that, and I got to spend all my free time with him? It's called graduating. He would teach me all there was to know about video games, talking me through all the stories I hadn't played and showing me the completion bonuses I'd never gotten. We would laugh together and share food together, and then finally one day, on our 50th wedding anniversary, when Jirard was an old shriveled prune of a man and I was a spitfire of an old woman, what's going on here? I would hand him his very own Princess Pumpernickel figure, and he would cry in joy as he looked at the figure and completed the quest that brought us together.
You.
Miss Mizuno? Miss Mizuno! Yes, what's wrong? Did they or did they not breed cows in the fields of fun? The fields of fun? What? Disappointing. Pay more attention, please, or I'll be forced to have you stay after class. Lady, shut up! You're the one who's trying to call us out right in the middle of class. Jesus Christ. I honestly don't understand what this teacher... What role does this teacher serve, honestly? Okay, gonna be completely honest, I've started to wonder what role the school serves in this, besides being a setting. Yes, ma'am. Sheesh, Hannah, where was your mind at? Nowhere. Don't even worry about it. Oh, jeez. I was really losing it. How completely embarrassing. But of course, when the time came for lunch and I was finally able to see Jirard again, I went shooting out the door.
Hannah.
I shot out into the hallway and was about to head for the staircase when...
Hana!
Hi! Jirard came running down the hallway in just as much of a rush as me. I stopped by the door, flush.
Hi.
Jirard, hi. Do you have somewhere to go today? No, I was just, I was really hungry today. Jirard blushed and avoided my eyes, but came to stand beside me. Neither of us could keep the smiles off our faces. Anyways, ready to head to lunch?
Yeah.
I'm starving. As I pushed open the door and Jirard passed me by, I saw Mai and Jirard standing across the way. They were both staring at me with smug looks on their faces. I knew exactly what they were thinking. Oh no! How dare I be in a relationship? What are you guys, 5 years old? Or 5th grade or whatever? I don't think people who are 5 years old even know what romance is. Seriously, what is it? What is with the stereotype where as soon as you are in a relationship with someone, you are instantly teased about it? What is with that? That makes no sense. And that is the most immature thing ever. Besides, both of you are single. So you're just jealous. In fact, both of you literally have green eyes. You are literally green-eyed with envy. Actually, mine are kind of yellowish, and Jared's are more like turquoise or something. Jared's eyes are the exact same color as his coat. Wait a minute. Sorry, moving on.
What?
What? Nothing? Jirard and I waltzed out onto campus together, the sun soaking our faces. My mood was lifted as high as the clear blue sky, and I beamed. I felt really good today. It's so weird to be back at school after the con. Isn't it? I miss it all.
Yes!
Me too! It was great to be able to see my friends all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's so tough to be separated from everybody now. Yeah, it's lame. I wish every day could be like a con, even after we graduate from Asagao. That'd be pretty hard, wouldn't it? I'd have to buy more than a mansion, maybe an entire road of houses just for my friends to live in. But that'd be so fun!
Right?
Wouldn't it? Fantasizing. Giddily, we entered the cafeteria, chatting animatedly. It was almost as though there was no one else in the room but Jirard. I mean, actually, if you look around this room, there is literally nobody here, so... Besides him, so, you know. Anyways, Hana, I was wondering... I'm going into the city today to check for Princess Pumpernickel. There's a lead in a small shop there. Would you like to go with me? I know you're not too into IBKs, but...
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Really?
Really? Great! I wouldn't mind learning more about them either. Chibiuba is really cute. You like her then? Oh, of course. She's on my desk lamp. I see her every morning when I wake up.
Huh.
That's great to hear. It's really cute. Pardon? So I'll see you after class? Definitely. Somehow, the rest of the guys got to the table before us. Apparently, we slowed down somewhere on our walk here. We sat down, ready to rejoin them in normal conversation, but they dropped whatever they were talking about as we approached. I side-eyed Mai, but she just laughed. Whatever. I didn't care if my feelings for Jirard were obvious, just as long as he didn't find... Wait, what?! What?! No! You are literally dating! You... Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me right now? You are literally dating. There is no possible way either of you could not realize that you are currently dating. What the hell? What is this? Oh my god. Shaking my head, I set my sights on the next few hours. Soon, Jirard and I would be in a train again, heading towards the city. Now we're in a train again, heading towards the city. So, immediately after school, Jirard and I raced to the train station for the very first train to the city, giggling like maniacs. We made it to the stop just as it was boarding and piled into a compartment, wheezing like numbskulls. Looks like we got our exercise for today, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Where's this shop that we're heading to anyways? It just opened. That's part of the reason I'm heading there. I need to put my feelers out. The guy seemed like he was a big IBK collector, so if anyone is bound to have it, it's him. Anyways, how's your tournament practice going? Oh, right, that. After the excitement of the convention, I forgot that I still needed to practice for the tournament while I was here. Seeing the guilty look on my face, Jirard shrugged.
Well...
Don't worry about it. We've got 3 weeks, so there's still time. Yeah, 3 weeks always seems like it's a lot of time, until it's not anymore. I can verify that. For winter vacation, I'm home for 3 weeks, and as of recording this, 1 week has already passed, and I'm just like, holy shit, where the hell did it go? I know what you mean. I haven't had time to practice much either.
Really?
Don't you do quick plays or something?
You are correct.
They're called speedruns, and I don't do just any speedruns, but completionist speedruns.
Complete it.
Get every item in the game and complete it as fast as you can. It's just as time-consuming as you think, and it takes a lot of practice. My event also starts the earliest of all of them and goes the latest, so it's a bit of an ordeal. I had no idea games could be so stressful. I want to point out, just let me point this out real quick. The idea of, a speed run as part of a gaming tournament, I can't say I like the idea of that, because it doesn't feel competitive, it just feels like a generic race. And, like, especially a completionist speedrun. I feel like unless you straight up know, like, all sorts of glitches and such, that would take so long. Like, assuming he means 100% completion, that... I can't think of many games that would not take just hours for. Though I guess that makes sense why it goes the latest, but, like, goddamn. Just, goddamn. We get breaks. Oh, okay. Alright then. Okay, never mind. And it's nothing compared to competitive RTS players or even MOBA games. Have you seen those? There he was again, spitting out jargon like I was supposed to know what it meant. I shook my head slowly. They're crazy, like real athletes. They can earn real athlete money too. It's crazy how much things have changed in the last few years. Games are art, games are sports, games are trash, games are friendships, games are communities, games are stories, games are characters, games are creations. It's such a big wild world out there. I am mad at this. I can't imagine how anyone could just not be interested in it or write them off, but a lot of people do. Yeah, millennials. I felt like I'd somehow touched a nerve, but nodded politely. I didn't grow up with games, so I never thought about how important they could be to people. The train shuddered to a stop, and a little chime played. Jirard and I headed into the city.
Well...
Okay, also, wait, weren't we just here for the... Never mind. Well, think about it this way. None of us would be friends without games. Or maybe some of us might be, but not all of us. We have this thing to unite us when everything else fails. He sighed. And remember how I was talking about having all my friends live in houses near each other? That might not ever happen, but we'll always be able to play games together, and that's basically the same thing. I nodded slowly. Jirard's friends were clearly very important to him, and so were games. So then, do you have plans for the future? Jirard looked up from his phone, glancing across the street, then beckoned for me to follow him. Future plans?
Nope.
He beamed at me, then led the way across a crosswalk.
Really?
No? Just no? I hurried after him, completely confused. Much of my life was spent in anxiety for one particular reason. I did not have a passion. I would watch my mother and my father work together at their jobs, complementary work, both dedicating all their time and energy to their own creative pursuits, and wondered whether something was wrong with me. My dad would pat my head and tell me to live my life happily, because I did not need to know now, but that didn't help. Without passion, life was incomplete. That was the picture I got. I didn't have the desire to keep working on something just because I enjoyed it. Eventually I would get tired, and if I didn't have to spend more time on that thing, I wouldn't. The only times I did were when other people were involved. I got good grades so I'd be praised, and so I was good at something. If nothing else, if not bold or creative or athletic, I was smart. What is this train of thought going into? That was all I ever felt I had going for me. Yeah, no, I haven't figured that out yet. But you're so talented, you could pick anything you wanted to do. All I really want to do is entertain, or maybe play video games. It'd be great to find a way to do both, but I don't know that there is yet. YouTube. Maybe I'll find something though, or I could create my own thing. He laughed heartily. I'm sure it'll work itself out.
Right.
Rather than inspire me, for the first time, Jirard's positive attitude grated my nerves. Things aren't always as easy as that though. You need to survive. You can't just not pick a field because you haven't figured it out. You can't just create your own job. Yeah, you can.
What?
Why not? There are bills to pay. Jirard looked at me quizzically, and I stopped myself. Right. He probably wouldn't understand what it was like to worry about where your next paycheck came from. These people, all of them, came from wealthy families. They didn't have the same problems I did. Never mind.
All right.
Well, here we are. Jirard pointed to a small shop with an open sign in the window. It didn't even have a title over its entry yet. A paper hung on the door with Jaeger's Finds in black Sharpie. After you. Jirard and I stepped into the shop. It was small, cramped, and somewhat dingy. Rows of wire racks stood across the room every few feet. If they were placed any closer together, there wouldn't be room to walk. I peered at the different things lining the shelves. Game discs, portfolios of cards, small figures with numbers across their bases, dice, plushies, bouncy balls. as Jirard made a beeline for the man at the counter.
Hello.
You wouldn't happen to have a Princess Pumpernickel figure lying around, would you? The man behind the counter scoffed, as if the answer should have been obvious. If it ever comes in, could you let me know? Jirard exchanged information with the man, who tisked at him. I could tell from the way he was shaking his head, dreadlocks trembling, that he thought Jirard's search was hopeless. That was pointless. We returned to the street outside, Jirard no worse for wear than before. As we headed back to the train station, I finally asked what had been on my mind for some time. Jirard, why exactly do you collect things?
I like what I like.
Close enough. Okay, that's fine, but why do you need to complete your collections? It seems like a lot more work than it's worth, and it probably costs a lot too.
Well,
He stroked his beard carefully as we set off across the crosswalk. I don't know what he's going to say, but I feel like it's just sort of a... It's honestly sort of a small OCD thing. It's like you collect something because you like it, and then you eventually reach a point where you're like, if I don't have all of this, it bothers me. Plus, it's also a case of, like, depending on what it is, it just feels really good to be, one of the very few people in the world who collects all of something. Like, if you have all of, like, using the IBKs here as an example, considering Princess Pumpernickel is so rare, that'd be, like, just collecting every single one would be, like, it would just be extremely difficult and probably feels really rewarding to do. Whereas something like collecting one of every gaming system is expensive and kind of cool, I guess. But, like, anyone could really do that if they look around eBay, so. I mean, why do people do anything? That's a hard question to answer. In the end, it's because I want to. And completing things gives me a sense of accomplishment and closure. I get a sense of satisfaction when I look over everything I've done. Yeah, basically what I said in more words. I know it sounds silly, but in another way, I look at the collections and I remember how I've changed.
see what I mean?
It's like, oh, that used to matter to me a lot. He shook his head. I don't know. Haven't you ever collected something? Yeah, but never on purpose.
Really?
Really? Never? Someone just gave you all the things you collected and you never bought something for yourself? Nope, I stopped mid-sentence. There was a shop window to my right, a crafts shop with lovely patterned papers and yarns.
Hana.
Anna, you okay?
What?
I blinked. I'd stopped in the middle of the road. A man walking past scoffed at me, annoyed that I was in his way. I stuck my tongue out at his back. Okay, that is definitely a change in confidence from before. The paper here is really pretty, that's all. You like origami?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my parents are really creative and they taught me how to fold things. I got really good at it around the time my mother passed. I haven't done it much since then though.
Hey.
You should do it more often. It seems like you like it. No, that's okay. Come on, we're going to miss the train. As we sat in our compartment on the way back to Asagao, I couldn't help but review the conversation in my mind. I understood that it was just the way Jirard was, but it didn't seem a good enough reason for all the effort he was going through. It was a figure, after all. It wouldn't give him lasting happiness or anything. If I could just chime in here again, I think it's less trying to get happiness and more trying to get rid of a slight annoyance. And it's like scratching an itch. Once you scratch that itch, you feel really good, even though all you really did was get rid of a negative feeling. It's kind of like that. Like, if you just have, like, a collection of all of something, the more difficult it is to get, the better it feels that you've scratched that itch. Obviously, over time, that goes away, and eventually you might just end up selling it to get a lot of money. But, you know. Jirard was staring out the window, a troubled look on his face. You know, thinking about it more, at this point, I might do it more because it's who I am than anything else. Do what? Collect things. It's fun and it's a part of me by now. It gives me a quest to go after and something to define myself by, right?
Exactly.
I'm dedicated and disciplined and persistent, and if I work hard enough, I'm rewarded for it. I like that feeling. It feels like I can impact things. I think that's something everybody needs in their life. Impact things? Yeah, like when you punch something. Jirard nodded. Don't you have something like that? By the time we got back to campus, night had fallen. We jogged for the entrance, and Jirard escorted me back to Primrose House.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming with me, Hana. No, thank you. It was fun to spend time with you again. I'm sorry you didn't find Pumpernickel. Jirard shrugged. That's okay. It gives me something to look forward to. He pumped a fist into the air.
Finish it.
Someday I shall prevail.
See you later.
Anyways, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, Hana. Have a good night. I headed for my dorm room, a resolution formed in my mind. If Jirard was going to find Princess Pumpernickel, he'd need more than just his eyes looking for them. Tomorrow, I would find Princess Pumpernickel. I don't think you're going to manage it. Well, next episode is when we will find out what goes on here, because I am very confused about what's going to happen next. However, we are seeing the inside of this train car a lot. So, I've been Max, and see you next time for more Asagao Academy Dating Jirard Edition. Club, fuck. Whoosh, boom, boom.